So yeah, today we are doing a tier list for Dark Souls of every single enemy excluding bosses. So we are going to be focusing mainly on little enemies you find around the world of Dark Souls 1. We're going to be starting off pretty strong. We got a cute little fella here at the top. One baby skeleton. You may or may not have heard of such a creature. One of, in my opinion, the cutest little enemies that Dark Souls has to offer, and I think just instantly, right? Instantly start off with an S tier. I mean, is there any arguing of the baby skeleton in S tier? I don't think there would be. I think I'm just going off of, I don't know, gut feeling right now. Just cool, uniqueness of the enemy, how, prevalent they are in the game. Same goes for like how iconic they are to the series. In my opinion, nothing is more iconic than the baby skeleton. We have the Balder Knight. The fact that they can parry is kind of cool. They do have a pretty unique stance where they just kind of stand there aiming their swords, and they could basically have 100% parry rate for any attack that can be parried, which is pretty cool in general. But overall, you know, they're kind of weak. They're not really too special. I like that they drop a good weapon, but in general, kind of normal. Let's go ahead and just pop them in like C tier, right? You know what we need to do as well, actually? It's going to get to the point where we might need to add some F tier shit. So let's go ahead and add F tier. Next up, we have the Fly Frogs. I think the Fly Frogs are pretty iconic. They've made it through every single one of the goddamn Dark Souls series. They're in Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Elden Ring. The fact that chat instantly is like S tier, even though their attacks are fucking annoying, they are pretty avoidable, right? And they do leave really funny death characters whenever you actually do die from them. I like the fact that in Dark Souls 1, you can go around the bottom of the Undead Berg and still see people like frozen where they were caught by the Fly Frogs. So many variations of them. S tier. S tier for the Fly Frogs for sure. I like the Batwing Demons. I think they're kind of cool. But even though they do show up in Dark Souls 3, they don't really leave a lasting impression. Although the fact that a Batwing Demon became the Demon Prince is pretty fucking cool. But overall, they're kind of mid. I wouldn't say they're bad, but I wouldn't say they're great. For Dark Souls 1, they're cool though. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna pop him in C, and then we're gonna move Balder Knight to D. I'm thinking that's about right. Now that we have the F tier, there's something below, because I wouldn't consider the Balder Knight to be freaking F tier. All right, now we have another iconic freaking NPC character, man. The Black Knights in Dark Souls 1. Scary, tough, good weapons, cool armor. You know what? Somebody said something that makes sense. Black Knights, S tier. Silver Knights, A tier. I like that. Okay, so which one's this enemy? Is this the DLC Bloatheads? Is that what that's supposed to be? Yeah, I think it's just a bad picture of the Bloatheads. I'm not a big fan of these sons of bitches. I think they're weird, and I think they are pretty cool with the way they act in the DLC and stuff, but they're fucking annoying. D for the Bloatheads. The mages, are we thinking maybe even lower for the mages? Are we seeing our first F tier enemy? They do have cool spells, I will admit. All right, I'm gonna pop them in D. We got another annoying one. These bastards, when you're going down into Blighttown, the bane of my fucking existence. Listen, a lot of people are saying F, and I'm obliged to agree. They're so annoying. While they have a cool little bucket heads, they're annoying ass enemies. All they do is cause goddamn, not even poison, it's the other one, fucking toxic, which is like you need your own special blooming moss just for these sons of bitches. F tier. First F. All right, now I know which one these guys are. This is the skeleton worms. Bone towers. I really like the bone towers. I'm gonna be honest. They have cool ass movesets. They're pretty damn cool. That's a terrible fucking picture of them, by the way. But I like them as enemies. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do at B for Bone. Next up we have the Shield Tower. What is his goddamn name? Tower Knight. But I will say they are one of the first real threats that you run into. As long as if you do not go up the tower to fight the Black Knight, these guys technically are like the first scary big shielded enemy you run into. They're almost like the first enemy that shows you, man, fuck shields. They're the first ones I think that give that feeling to you in the Souls games, in Dark Souls 1. But they do have cool armor. I'm gonna pop them in C for Tower. Alright, now we have an absolute fucking legend. What can I say? The charging pigs that you have in Bloodborne, whose hand you shove all the way far in where the light don't shine. The pig. I think we're gonna have to go with another S tier. Looks super cool in this one, and it has variations of some of them that have a butt plug in. So I think S. Another really cool enemy, more of a mini boss. But still, I think from the Soul series in general, one of the coolest enemies. And that is the Hydra. I think it's one of the most unique enemies. I believe still is like the biggest enemy from any of the Souls games. Not counting like bosses, but even among bosses, I think absolutely the longest. I personally would have to put him S tier. The next one's is just a straight up ass. Well, what do you want me to say, guys? The next one's an unfinished half of a dragon ass. No, not S. What do you mean S? It's not S. Now that's Vike's S tier. Yeah, this is what Vike would consider a flesh. I'm gonna have to put him in D tier. I think I'm gonna go with D. If I was Vike, I'd go with S probably. But it's D for that ass. We got a worm that comes out of the ground. Not much to say about them. They're kind of weird. I like their design a lot. I will say they're annoying as shit to fight though. I'm gonna have to go with C. Alright, now we have the Capra frickin' demon. I will say though, right, so as an enemy design, he is cool, but what they did with him in Dark Souls 1, I think they kind of fucked him. Because he's a cool boss fight, and if he would have shown up a couple of times here and there, he would have been much cooler, but they just ended up filling the lava area with like 10 of them. And I think it just ruins the mystique of them. While they are cool, I don't think they're S tier. So we're going to pop him in A. A for Capra. What the fuck is that? Okay, I think I know which one that one is. I believe that enemy is the DLC guy who has the freaking horn on his head. Chained prisoner. Oh my god, I didn't fucking see his ass. See, guys, he's so forgettable. I couldn't even fucking find him on the list that has pictures of them. You know what? Fucking F. Now we're talking serious Dark Souls 1 here. I think this is one of the coolest enemies in Dark Souls 1. The Chaos Eater. From his design to the noise he makes. The eyeballs, the uniqueness of him. When you look inside of him, he could eat you and it's all nothing but teeth. I'm going to have to go with S. He's so weird. I like when he walks and goes boom, 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 boom. So we're going to go with that. All right, now we have the shit bug. Krag's spider. I almost want to give him an F for that stupid name. They're weird. They're annoying. They're not memorable. They're really only in Blighttown and... yeah, I'm gonna have to go with C. Because they're not annoying, they're easy to kill, they're easy to deal with, so nothing too crazy. Now we got another boss right here, or another enemy. Another good one. Ornifex's cousins. We got the crow demons is what they're called in this game, the harpies. Super unique enemy design for this game, but there's not many of them in like a lot of areas. I think it's a pretty good A in my opinion. A for that ass. Now the crystal golem. I think that's a pretty good B. I'm almost willing to put him in C for crystal, but we'll leave him in B for golem. All right, now we have, what the fuck is this guy's name? The Crystal Knight. The armor's freaking badass though. I will say, I absolutely love his armor. The Crystal Knight armor is super cool. Call me crazy, but is there one Crystal Knight? And if you're not prepared, he does kind of mess you up. Although if you have a strength build, it's basically GG. I think we'll put him in C tier. I think C is fair. C for Crystal. Now, speaking of crystals, Crystal Lizards. Crystal Lizard that will carry on to the series, right? Dark Souls 2 had these same Crystal Lizards. They made a big change from Demon Souls Crystal Lizards, which Demon Souls Crystal Lizards very different little fellas compared to what they moved on to Dark Souls 1, and Dark Souls 1's the one that carried over. I like the lizards though. The lizards are cool, but did it feel too fucked up to be killing lizards? And they took away their lizard dance as well though. They took this away from us. They do have a little shuffle. You know, they have their own version. This one taunts you so much more though. He's such an asshole, but it is iconic. It's a something that carried on through the rest of the series, so we'll go ahead and pop it S tier. Dark Wraiths. Dark Wraiths are cool, man. Listen, skeletons are cool. I think Dark Wraiths are pretty fucking iconic when it comes to the badass armor they have, to their cool abilities. They always also have like a danger level to them. You even in Dark Souls 1, sometimes you can't fuck around against a Dark Wraith. We're gonna put him at S tier, but when we do the Dark Souls 2 one, he's A tier. Maybe even less. Just because that face in the Dark Souls 2 one is so goofy. S tier. S for suck, exactly. I think we can all agree instantly this stupid ass blue dragon who walks like from side to side and shoots lightning. F tier. Right? Am I crazy?
Aww.
Fuck those guys.
He makes cute noises though.
No, he doesn't. He makes noises like he's dying, like a chicken's getting choked. Alright, now we have the little guy with the balls on his back. Now, I will say Wormy, S tier, right? And I see Wormy down there. We got another S tier coming up. Like, just an odd boss, right? Or, sorry, odd enemy. I'm gonna pop him at a D. Because what comes with balls? Alright, now we have the big boy who pops. The big swollen ass hollow. What are actually these guys' names? Engorged the Hollow. We have a gosh darn nasty engorged hollow. They're fucking annoying. If you hit them, you have to like dodge perfectly so you don't get toxic, unless you have a fire weapon. These guys are like the epitome of annoying. I will give a bonus point for being able to use pyromancies with their hands, so D tier. We have straight up Snoop Dogg's dream, a walking weed plant. I don't know about the little tree. What do you guys think, chat? They do drop poison healing stuff. That is true. They're pretty useful, and you could smoke them whole. Oh my god, the fire dogs. Are you guys thinking what I'm thinking? F for fire. There's just no way I could put those fucking little fire dogs anything. Dogs are already annoying. These dodge so much. They take way more hits than regular dogs, and they shoot fire that staggers everything and lingers too and does a lot of damage. F. Also, did you guys know this guy was called Frog Ray? Cool little unique enemy. I like when you go to that one area where they come out in a lot and they jump out of the water. And he has a six-pack. He keeps healthy. I think I'm willing to put this in A tier. I like the look of him, and the name is just a bonus. Ooh. What is this? The giant? Isn't there only one giant and he's friendly? Giant. Where the hell are the other Dark Souls 1 giants? Oh, yeah. It's the guy with holding the fucking chains of the door open. And then the ones throwing the ball. Oh, they're so annoying. Giant is A because his chain broke and he fell off. That is one of my all-time favorite moments. We were doing that Dark Souls 1 mod, and he fell off the building because he was moving the chain back. Oh shit, broke! Oh! It looked like the chain broke and he fucking went flying backwards because it broke. But they're so annoying and they fuck you in Sen's Fortress, man. Especially the one with the goddamn ball. I wish you could rank specifically like just the one with the ball. F tier just for that son of... He like brings them down, you know. He brings them down a peg. So if they were going to end up on a B, now I got to put them at C. Now, yeah, I think C's fine. They throw balls at you. That is true. They are kind of the original freaking giants in the castle for Elden Ring. Somehow these sons of bitches, the one specifically with the ball and the big bomb, is the one that carried over to Elden Ring out of all the other giants. Isn't that kind of insane? I just thought about that as well. All right, humanities. Man, humanities are interesting. They come in different sizes. They do a lot of damage if they hit you. Like some of the highest damage per hit, I think. Yeah, let's go with B. Slugs. What do we do with slugs? S tier for the slugs. S for slugs. I'm just gonna pop them in D. And while we got mosquitoes here, let's go ahead and fucking pop them in F. Fuck those mosquitoes. Skeleton with arrow. I'm gonna have to go with just, I think, middle of the ground C. Probably same for the one who has the sword, except I guess the sword guy is less annoying. The only thing I like about them is that when you hit them, he ends up, what do you call it? He ends up like falling apart into 100 pieces, and I like that. Just C. Maybe even D for that, and then a C for the one with the sword, because the arrow ones are just straight up annoying. Now we have the big cat. The big bitey cat. What is actually their name? Giant cat. I'm going to go ahead and put them A tier. You kind of notice something that I like the little weirdos. I don't know how many people would put baby skeleton in S tier, but alright, now we have these stone giants or stone golems. They're annoying. They have shields, and they use TWAP to slow you down. D. For D's nuts. Torch hollows now. A group of them, to be specific. I like how they pictured these, by the way, because the torch hollows are still some of the enemies that when I play Dark Souls 1, and even though I could be like really high level, I will still underestimate them and underestimate how much damage and how much stagger damage they do, and will just destroy you sometimes. The fact that a couple of hollows with a torch can sometimes still fuck you up is pretty impressive, but in general it's just a hollow holding a torch. It's kind of funny the way they run. Nothing really too special. We gotta put them in C tier. OG Dark Souls 1 hollows, I would maybe pop them the same. Maybe even D tier, because they're just little hollows. While they got some history to them, I think that's fair. And if that's, honestly, if that's D tier, we have to put the little shielded hollows F tier, right? Or am I crazy? They're just hollows that found armor on the floor. Then we have the giants that are in Blighttown who end up throwing big rocks. Man, these guys are annoying as shit, aren't they, down there? Especially when you're trying to get to the boss room of the spider waifu and they keep throwing rocks at you and you're slowed already going through the mud of Blighttown. I'm gonna have to go with F. These guys are probably a little bit less annoying, still kind of annoying, but definitely less annoying. There are other counterparts with the great clubs that instantly poison you. Those fucking great clubs, by the way, or toxic you. Let's just pop them into D tier. They're pretty annoying. Now we have the guys who use their own mother as a weapon. D tier. And now we come to, I think, probably one of the most memeable and like most iconic enemies in the series of the Souls games, and that is going to be the big giant mushroom S tier. There's not really much you can say more about that one, right? I think S tier for the big mushroom. I think that's kind of obvious. Can literally one shot you. I think it's one of the goats for Dark Souls 1. Your drunk 6'8" neighbor. Yeah, when he could do the same thing that I can to a grandma, that's how you know shit gets real with him. Is this smash or pass? Yeah. Yeah, this is what that is. Now we have the ghosts. I think they have both versions here. Am I crazy, or is that the other version of the ghost? Oh no, the other one's the banshee. So the ghosts, I think, are the ones with the daggers. Banshees are the ones that hold the baby. But if anything, I think we'll just pop them at C tier. Alright, I think we got another one for A here. I don't know if you guys disagree, but the big clams, giant clams, are so cool in this freaking game, I think. The man-eater shells. Amazing design. I love the design of them. You can farm twinkling titanites, and they're really strong, will fuck you up even at higher levels. The man serpents filling the area of Sen's fortress. It seems to have both versions, the one with the sword and the one that shoots spells. So you can say essentially hot and not hot. B for both of these. No lightning is F. Why is it? Because he's not as hot. The mass of souls, I think, is one of the coolest looking enemy designs, and like his moves and everything are super cool. You guys are saying F? Hell, I do not think he's F. He's very unique of a design. I would go ahead and put him in C tier. Does not deserve B though. Rats S? What in the fuck? Even if it has something to do with Michael the Rat. I'm gonna go ahead and put rats on B. B for rat. Here we have another icon of the Soul series, a legend, if you will. It really doesn't get more iconic than this. The Mimic. What else can you say? He's tall, handsome, and knows karate. Now we have the big cows. The Taurus Demon. I think the Taurus Demon is a cool design, but it reminds me a little bit of what's his face over here that we put in A tier. He was a cool boss, and then they just filled the entirety of that bottom area with a bunch of these, which kind of diminishes them. They are absolutely worse than the Capra Demon, but I can't put them anything lower than B. The Butterfly, Moonlight Butterfly. I will say Moonlight Butterfly starts off as a boss, and then the only place you really see them is the crystal area, and they're passive. They don't do anything unless you attack them, but they're beautiful creatures. I would barely call them enemies, but they do destroy you if you mess with them. They're like the ultimate, they're like a bee, right? They'll leave you alone entirely until you try to mess with them, and then they'll get you. But god damn it, I do like the way they look. So we're gonna pop the Moonlight Butterfly because they are so passive. I'm gonna pop them in D. All right, Oscar. Listen, we put this one guy at C. I'm almost tempted, right? If we do this right now, we put him in D, and we put Oscar in C. No, Oscar's pretty iconic though. If we put a fucking clam at A, we can put Oscar at A as well. Yeah, he is the first person who's like nice and friendly and then dies and goes undead to attack you. I don't got anything good to say about a painting guardian. I'm gonna be honest, man. And Orlando's fucking filled with them, trying to get across the railing while they're there running at you. I gotta go with D. Are they? I'm almost thinking F tier. Now this son of a bitch here, the Parasite, the Parasitic Wall Hugger, another one that is really weird, unique enemy, drops power within, but there's only one of them, and he's just a thing on a wall that you have to get behind to kill. C tier. Maybe if he had a more varied moveset other than fucking headbutting you. So we're gonna go for C for Parasite. Alright, now we have the Phalanx. The Phalanx is an interesting one because obviously the Phalanx comes from Demon Souls, but they're so annoying. Am I crazy to say that I never fucking kill them? Does everybody else, are you guys also like me where you just run by this thing? Because I don't kill them ever. I don't think you can get their shield. The best thing I believe you can get from them is the Partisan. I don't think they drop anything. I don't think they're a good soul farm, are they? There's so many of them and they're annoying because they have shields. They're like an annoying soul farm. There's so many better soul farms in Dark Souls 1 if you really wanted a soul farm. I almost want to pop them in D again, but D's looking a little big. So let's go ahead and just pop them in D for now. Pinwheel Servant. Oh, so he does have an actual different name. This is the servant of the Pinwheel. Didn't know that. I thought it was him. Even though you kill him, I thought, hey, somehow he made it. I think the Pinwheel Servants are one of the worst enemies. They're just pure annoyingness. And I don't even think that's a fucking word. That's how annoying he is. So we're gonna pop him F tier. F tier. It's a cool enemy. I like the design, but it's just kind of a slug. I like the slickness of their weird little heads. We're gonna go ahead and pop you C tier. This is a weird enemy because I think what this is trying to show is this trying to show the tree? No, it's tree. This is the tree itself. It's just a fucking tree slug. I don't know if they have names. Does it show the name of the little tree slug? There he is. The possessed trees. I'm pretty sure there's one of them in the whole game. The singular tree that blocks the route to get to the area where you actually have the little six-pack frogs. The frog rays come out. Is there only one possessed tree? I'm gonna give the possessed tree F. He's just a tree that moves. While we're on the subject of him, we'll instantly do his compadre, the tree lizard, which I think, in my opinion, is a much better enemy. They kind of go hand in hand though. They're sort of, you could consider them friends. I like the tree lizards. Even though there's not many of them, they're weird. They make funny little noises and they're cute. So what I'm going to do is give the tree lizard C. The Royal Sentinels. Honestly, in Dark Souls 1, I fucking hate the Royal Sentinels. I dislike them so much. The Royal Sentinels have some of the worst hitboxes, a literally impenetrable shield. They have... Do they have heals or do they have Wrath of Gods? I think they have both, right? I'm pretty sure Royal Sentinels... There is two pictures. There's Royal Sentinels and then there's regular Sentinels. I think the Royal Sentinels are the ones that are inside right before Ornstein and Smo. Sentinels are the ones who use... What is the difference, actually? I don't know, but what I'm going to do is put both of them in fucking D. Alright, Silver Knights. We were talking about this earlier. Black Knights, we pop them in S tier. I think Silver Knights are a pretty good A tier. Skeleton Dogs. Man, these Skeleton Dogs, I will say, scary enemies. Strong. I'm going to pop them in C tier. Alright, Skeleton with a shield. They can also parry you. Minimum, I guess we got to put them in C. Now, which one's this one? Just a slug? Is this just slug on floor? There he is. Slime. Sorry. I didn't mean to call him a slug. That's my bad. Now, I will say, fuck slimes. They somehow have persisted throughout the Souls series. Quite literally, I think a slime in every single Souls game I'm trying to think of. Wait, does Dark Souls 3 have slimes? Dark Souls 2 have... Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's fucking tons in the Abyss Watcher Lake. Dark Souls 2? Demon Souls has slimes as well. How the hell is a slime? There's slimes in Elden. There's big slimes in Elden Ring. What the fuck? How is slimes? There's... I don't know how slimes have persisted for so long. Just for that longevity is impressive. They're like the LeBron of the Soul series. What the fuck? I'm gonna go ahead and give slimes a fucking B tier. Straight up, that longevity, the icon status, he's gonna get put into the Hall of Fame. 100% the slime goes B tier. What's the difference between this rat and the other? Oh, that's Big Rat, I think, actually. I think B tier, we put Big Rat. So, Little Rat, pop him in C tier. Baby Mushroom. We gotta put him S tier. Along with Papa. You know, they're cute. They run around, they fall on their face, and they make probably the weirdest noise when they die. I can't think of any enemy that makes a more unique noise. And we know what they grow up to be. We know their potential. Albino rats. Why did Miyazaki make albino rats in D tier? These guys, what are these guys called? Stone demons. They have a very satisfying sound when you hit them. But are they worth F tier? Probably not. D tier. Okay, I don't know what the difference is between these two. Stone. We have Stone Guardian. What was the other stone one that we had then? Oh, these are the DLC ones. The ones who hit the ground and slam up. and send a big shockwave, I think those are the Storm Guardians. I think they're pretty fucking cool. I like them way more than the guys who twop your ass. So if we put the guys who twopped you in, what did we put them in? We put them in D tier. I would have put these in C tier. The murderous little beasts who took our boy from us. Head maggot. I think it's light maggot. Oh, chaos bug. Sunlight maggot is what I was thinking of the helmet, I guess. For my boy, I can't, with a heart, give them anything above an F tier. I can't. Downs for Solaire. The Channelers. I think these are one of the best enemies in Dark Souls 1. I love their little dance when you get them, their weapon. I love that they do it. Their armor's cool. A tier. While they are kind of annoying in the library, I think that's A tier. Ah, these sons of bitches. The Obsidian Demons or whatever they're called. Tatanite Demons. Cool enemies. Probably the worst hitbox in the history of Souls games. Of all time. But they're so cool and unique. We gotta give them at least on the same level as the slime. I gotta give them that. Gardeners from the DLC. C tier. I don't know what to give these. My heart says D. They do have a unique design and they do have a unique backstab animation. I'm gonna go with C for thief. Dogs. F. Crystal Hollows, which, in case you didn't know, is just a hollow with a bunch of crystals on him. I didn't know that up until about 2 years ago. I thought he was his own unique enemy. He's just a hollow that's covered in crystals and they turn him blue. I'm going to give him a D. Same goes for these guys. Now, what enemy is that? Oh, the little arrow, the crossbow hollows. Fucking F. Now here's a tough one. The Undead Mage, the Necromancer. They're incredibly annoying. There's very few of them, and they're always all the way in the worst spots. And they constantly revive every skeleton until you fucking kill them. I gotta give them an F. I fucking hate these enemies so much.
They can drop that lantern though.
True, but they don't always drop the lantern, which makes it even worse. So I'm going to go ahead and pop them in F. Shielded Hollow with Spear. I don't know. I find them on the same level as maybe a tad bit higher than D. I feel like we just pop both of these in F. Or sorry, D. All right, now we have the Vagrants. Probably one of the most, if not the most, literally the most unique enemy in Dark Souls. Where they only really spawn whenever somebody in somebody else's world died and didn't pick up their runes. And then it had a small chance to spawn a Vagrant. Such cool, unique enemies. I think we're going to pop them A tier. Wormy. Ladies and gentlemen, what more can we say? Is there anything that needs to be said even? I think everybody knows exactly where Wormy's going. F tier. The skeleton. I'm kidding. S, are you kidding me? That's Wormy. He's a movie star now, by the way. Did you see Dune? He's fucking in that. That's him. And I'm proud of him. He's done so much, even though he left me behind. That's fine. I didn't ask to come along the journey. I don't want to be a big movie star that makes millions of dollars. Why would I want that when I'm here with you guys? You know? But that's fine. That's fine. Skeleton Wheel. Another S tier. Iconic. Legend of this series. One of the most unique and coolest enemies of this series, in my opinion. Easy S for the Skeleton Wheel. And another weird little enemy that really only pops up when you're heading down to see Nito. And in like very few areas. But is such a weird, cool, unique enemy. I think I'd have to pop him in A tier. And I think that's it. I think that is our list. Our tier list. How's it looking? Is there anything else you guys think would change? What? Now that we have all the enemies here, I'm wondering if there's any more that I would change. Where's the Mimic? Mimic is an S. So for S, We have Baby Skeleton. We got Frogfly, Black Knight, the Boar. We have the Hydra, the weird, I can't remember his name. Does that make him not be S tier worthy? I don't think so. Chaos Eater. Then we have the Bug, Dark Wraith, Papa Mushroom, Baby Mushroom, Mimic Wormy, and a Skeleton Wheel as our S tier on the list. I don't think I change anything. I think everything looks pretty good. And that is a tier list for all Dark Souls 1 enemies.